with a dream in my pocket. Took a step and I couldn't stop it. Every stumble lit a fire inside. Now I walk with my head held high. Lessons learned and bridges burned. Still I rise with every turn. This is more than just a climb. It's my moment, it's my time. No more hiding in the crowd. Gonna wear my soul out loud. The world is waiting just to see all the magic inside of me. Shine, shine like a diamond bright. Shine your light, you've got every right. You are special, let it show. Be yourself and let it flow. Stand out, don't dim your glow. You were born to steal the show. Shine, shine like you mean it. Shine so bright they can't believe it. Pages turn, but the heart stayed true. Every scar's got a golden hue. Telling my story in my own style. With every post, every smile. From the hustle to the
Well, hello. Thank you for joining me this week on Who, What, Where Wednesday. My name's Narelle Warcon, and I'm coming to you from Mackay, Queensland, Australia. Today is a fantastic celebration for me, and we're going to go a little bit through that, and it's about me this week. I know it usually is, but it's nice to be able to share just a little bit more about me, you know, where I come from, a little bit about my country. So I'll just pop over and say a few hellos. So thank you for joining us, Patricia Parent, Saskatchewan, Canada, if I said that correctly. So thank you for joining in from there. Nice and early for you, I know. Burger, thank you so much for joining us. Dan Price is here from New Zealand. Thank you, Dan, for joining us. Olive Tom, thank you, Olive. You're a wonderful lady. Olive does some amazing craft works and things like that. So, Olive, thank you so much for joining in. And I believe you are, if I'm correct, are you in PNG? Abdul, thank you for joining us. Jean's here from the USA. And I can barely see those little things. Kenton's here from New Zealand. Thank you, Kenton. Abdul, yes, I said hello. Thank you. So, like I said, I'm Narelle Warcon. I'm coming here today on Who, What, Where Wednesday, which is our normal Wednesday evening here in Australia. Thank you for all those in Australia joining in, and from New Zealand and around the oceans and around the world. So, what a wonderful celebration it is. And to tell you the truth, I'm a little bit teary. I haven't been, but I am a little bit at the moment. So bear with me a little bit tonight. Have some patience with me as I go through a little bit of, I'm not going to go much into the heart as in what actually happened, you know, because I think most of you know my story. And if you haven't, you can go back on some of the recordings right back when I spoke about, you know, sharing about my open heart surgery and how that journey has been and led me to where I am. And so much in my life has led me to where I am. For those coming in on LinkedIn, thank you so much. I do appreciate your support from LinkedIn. I love you guys over there. It's a different platform. And I just love seeing and reading and seeing what people pop up over there. And also those coming in on my Narelle Warcon author page on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate it. Okay, so Tanya's here as well. Tanya, I send deepest sympathy to you and your family on the loss of your brother-in-law. Thank you so much for joining us. I know that loss is very hard. You know, just quickly, our neighbours, and this is why I think I'm a bit emotional, our elderly neighbours, Dave and Margaret. Dave fell down the stairs the other day in their home yesterday and was taken by ambulance and has a broken hip. He has to have surgery. He's 84 years old, and his wife, Margaret, will be 82 this year, but she's quite a frail little 4'4" lady. Oh, thank you, Olive, for reconfirming that, PNG. But yeah, she's just this little frail lady, and she's just quite shattered at the moment and quite shaky. And we've been going over there. We did a little bit of grocery shopping for her today. So just remember, if there's anybody out there that's needing prayers, uplifting, you know, keep them in your thoughts, keep them in your prayers daily. hourly, sometimes every minute of the day, because we don't know how our lives can change in an instant, just as I'm going to talk about now because of my open heart surgery. And I do want to ask the question, do you know anybody who has had open heart surgery or, heart attacks, I suppose, but open heart surgery is completely different. And let's go into that. So I want to welcome everybody here today for this live celebration of my 10-year anniversary of open heart surgery. Whether you're here live or catching the replay, I want you to know this moment matters, because today marks 10 years since I had open heart surgery, a triple bypass that forever changed my life. And it certainly did. And like I said, just bear with my emotions today. Ava, thank you so much for joining in from Bangladesh. Lovely to see you. Also, Deborah Deborah, who's coming in from Australia as well. So thank you for all those popping on. I will come back to you shortly. So it wasn't just my heart that was repaired. Something deeper shifted. And if any of you know, or you've gone through, big surgeries in your life, open heart surgery is one of the most traumatic, because they cut your chest open, they pull your chest apart, and please forgive me, I don't mean to be gory. They work on your heart. You're on a heart-lung transplant machine, keeping you alive while they're repairing your heart. Now, if you saw my little video today about my heart anniversary, we call it heartversary, you will see I have 3 pictures on the front of my legs and where they took the where they took the veins to repair my heart. And you will see I have 2. You can't see them too well on the third one because I've healed very well, but they're about 11 to 12 inches long on each leg. So not only was I repairing, or my heart had to be repaired, I also had the scars of where they took the main veins from my legs to repair my heart. So in some ways, because I shifted in different ways after that surgery, the pain was horrendous. I would never, ever want anybody to go through that pain. And a lot of mine, remember, was not only physical, but emotional pain because of what I had come through in my life and what I had experienced with heartbreak, I suppose you could call it. So in a way, it softened me and it strengthened me, if you can understand that. It reawakened what really matters: my voice, my values, and the quiet fire inside that refused to fade. Have you ever felt that, you're at your wit's end sometimes, that you just think, oh my gosh, I can't go on anymore? So life didn't just start over, it asked me to live it differently. And that's quite emotional, because we go through life thinking that we're doing all the right things, or we're sort of stuck sometimes in a way of doing things. And we talked about that last week on self-talk, about what we're actually what's going on in here, and what are we taking on and absorbing, and how are we using that in our lives. So life didn't just start over, it asked me to live differently. Do you know anyone who has had open heart surgery? Just as I asked in the beginning. So a heart repaired, a woman rebuilt. That's me. I had no idea what I was about to go through in my life. Oh my gosh, how things changed. It was just incredible to think that I had no warning signs. I had I was working full time. Look, I'd had a bad accident in the coal mines when I was driving the big trucks. I had just gone back to work part time and then full time, and I had a terrible time at the work that I was, because one of our main managers, because I was an aftermarket lady, if you know what that means, when people sold the car, I sold the extra bits to go with it. So the tint, the paint protection, the interior protections, all those sorts of things. So he was just an absolute a-hole, let me just say that. And I was going through heaps and heaps of stress. Okay, I believe that I had it built so much over the years, remember, not just from that one incident. It was sort of like the old analogy of the straw that broke the camel's back, and I think that's what happened to me there. So surgery wasn't just the beginning, though, it was the healing. And that healing, that was the real mountain. Healing, oh my gosh, years and years and years of heartache, and where I felt like my heart had been broken in many pieces or stomped on, or, like scarred from different relationships I had been in and out of, because I was searching not only for my purpose, I was searching for myself, but I was looking for love in all the wrong places. So I was, like, I was in a situation where I felt that the heart surgery was actually needed to repair my heart, and that's probably a little bit hard for everybody to understand, because it's not like you just want to go through that. Hi, Durgam, lovely to see you, and Ramaran. Thank you for joining us. So physically, I had stitches and scars, not only on my chest but also on both legs. Emotionally, I had questions, and spiritually, I had a storm. And yet, every single time I wanted to give up, something deeper inside of me whispered, "You've come too far, keep going." Have you ever felt that? Have you ever felt when you hit rock bottom that there was just this little whisper that said to you, "You get up, girl, and you keep going"? Or guys, there's just something. There's just something. Sometimes you don't know why or where or how. I mean, I believe in the dear Lord above, you know that. And I know the dear Lord has brought me through all of this to be able to be the person I am today, to be able to share from my heart, to be able to share those experiences that I've had. And that's why today is really important for me. Okay. I will come back. I see there's a lot of mentions in the chat there. So that's the kind of strength we all carry, not loud or showy, but quietly unbreakable. You all have that within you. Amazing. You are all amazing. I'm going to keep telling you that. So I didn't just survive, I chose to rise. And was that easy? No, it wasn't. You're talking, with me in a sense of, not only did I have open heart surgery 10 years ago, but I've been through a lifetime of pain with broken relationships, broken marriages, domestic violence, sexual, physical, and mental abuse all of my life. So to continue to rise took every strength, every part of me. And I know that the dear Lord was there lifting me up every time, saying, "You can do this. You've got to do this. You have a purpose here on this earth." And he was there as my strength. So I didn't just survive. I chose to rise, not because I wasn't afraid, because I was afraid many times, but because I refused to stay down. I think all of my life I'd been trodden on, stepped down. People put me down, and people made me feel inferior, or that I wasn't enough. Like, again, we can take it back to how many times in your life are you having people tell you that you're not good enough? Like I said, I'll come here every week and I will tell you that you're worthy and amazing and enough, because you are. So don't let anybody else pull you down because of that. You can refuse to stay down, and you can choose to rise. Okay, every single one of you. So for anyone facing a hard thing in their life, whether you've been through something, it may not be surgery like myself. It may be, maybe it's heartbreak. We've all been there. Or maybe burnout, because I've had that as well, because I apply myself sometimes too much, too all the time. And burnout is a real thing. Don't think that you're just tired. Don't think that you have to be or do be a certain way or do certain things to be accepted within a community or within your family or anything like that. So anyway, are you enjoying it this far? I'm not going too deep, am I? So just let me know that. So maybe you're just feeling stuck in life that doesn't reflect who you really are. You're stuck in a life that doesn't really reflect who you are. Who are you? Have you been questioning yourself? Have you been asking about those things are, am I doing what I really love to do or feel what is right to do? Yes, you may be in a job, and that may be a job that you're not going to stay in for the rest of your life. But are you still contributing to your life in doing those things that you love, adding in those things that might be something that brings you joy, something that brings you happiness, Thank you, Kenton. It's lovely that you have so many beautiful comments in there. And thank you, Jean, too. Okay, so let me go on. This journey, this celebration, it's for you too. Remember, I may be out here celebrating my 10th anniversary, heartversary of my open heart surgery because I'm alive. Because, sorry, let's get on with that. I just won't go there right now. So, but here's what I've learned. You don't have to have it all together. You just have to decide not to give up. And every day you have that choice, every moment in every day. You know, there are times when I wanted to give up. There are times when the pain was so horrendous because I got frozen shoulder after the open heart surgery that I used to wake up screaming in pain, and I used to shout out to the Lord and say, just take me home, Lord, because I can't do this anymore. You know, have you reached rock bottom sometimes where you think, I just don't want to be here anymore? You know, and it's not that you want to take your own life. You've just had enough. You've had enough pain. You've had enough hurt. You know, you've had enough sadness in your life. But we're here to uplift you. And I'm here to do the same, even though today I've taken you on a little bit of an emotional journey. Just remember that your life is important. You are here for a reason. And you may not even know what that reason is. And I searched for a long time. Why was I kept alive? What is my purpose? You know, and I struggled with that, I can tell you, because I'd done so much in my life already. So in those years of rebuilding, wondering if I was going to be good for anything, because that's where I went. What am I good for? You know, pain, suffering, whatever. And why I had been kept alive. What purpose would I have? What was that purpose? And you're all probably thinking, I know everybody's talking about having a purpose lately, but maybe you haven't found it yet. But somewhere deep inside, you need to be still sometimes to understand what you need to bring forward, what your experiences in life are. You don't have to be an online speaker like myself. There are many people you can help just in your neighborhood, your community. So I discovered something powerful, a mission, a movement, a community. You know what I'm talking about here, right? Our business. And that business believed in lifting people up, not leaving them behind. It's a space where innovation meets heart, where dreams don't have deadlines, and where you're reminded you are never too broken to begin again. Hi, Lisa. Lovely to see you. I found my path here within our business with our CEO. I found my path here not just professionally, but personally. And I carry that energy with me into everything I do because this is my purpose. This is the reason why I'm here, so that I can not only help you guys, not only help those out in the world, you know, by writing my book, Blonde Roots, by releasing my story, by sharing the hardships that I went through. I know that my purpose is to bring that balance back to humanity, to bring that hope, because I know and I can feel it in my heart, each and every one of you. Each and every one of you come here every week supporting me, you know, that maybe, just maybe, I'm helping one person out there. You know, if you feel a connection with me, then I'd love to hear, you know, in the chat, you know, whether there's something that you feel that I've helped you with. You don't have to say exactly what it is, but thank you. I just saw Shasheen Shay. Thank you so much for joining us. So the strength that helped me through. So that same strength drives this mission forward for me. We fall, we rise, we grow together. Remember, we're stronger together. Now, I know that I've been through a little bit of a, not challenging, but sharing, you know, from my heart today about my 10th heartversary. And like I said, I wasn't going to go into the whole, you know, blood and guts about it all. But I'm going to play a little video now because I want to bring about some like a light moment, you know, like something uplifting, a little bit about Aussie and things like that. So bear with us. The video is only short, but I want to take you along a little bit of a journey of us here over in Australia, Aussie land. So we'll play that video now, and then
she'll be right, mate. That's how we roll through heat and storms. We're solid and whole. Crocs in the creek and roos on the hill. We push through the hard yards, steady and still. No need for fuss and no reason to wait. We carry on strong with a she'll be right, mate. Koalas nap while the sprinklers spin. The kids run wild with mozzie bit skin. Mates drop by just to lend a hand. No need to ask, they understand. From reef to the range, from beaches to bush, we live with the land. Not in a rush, you'll be right, mate. That's how we roll through heat and storms. We're solid and whole. Crocs in the creek and roos on the hill. We push through the hard yards, steady and still. No need for fuss and no reason to wait. We carry on strong with a she'll be right, mate.
okay, here I am again. I hope you enjoyed just that little video that I put together. I want to do a few more because I think a lot of people don't know much about Australia, or they only know certain things, you know, the crocodiles, the kangaroos, koalas, and they think those, well, not so much crocodiles, not like you can cuddle those things. um, but, you know, there's so much more to Australia, and we really do have an amazing culture over here. So I'm going to read a few facts for you and see if they're things that maybe instigate a little bit of a conversation here, or you want to know more if you have any questions. So let's lighten this mood up a little bit. Thank you, Jean. I really enjoy putting together just little bits and pieces. It's just who I am. So did you know we have over 10,000 beaches here in Australia? Yes, you could visit a new one every day for 27 years. A new one every day for 27 years. Is that tempting you? Come on over. We're not just going to throw you to the crocodiles. Yes, we could go on with the creatures, but we won't go on to them. Also, these are fun facts. Did you know that Aussies, Australians, invented Wi-Fi and the black box flight recorder, which is orange, by the way, but it's called the black box flight recorder, and the electric drill? So there's some fun facts. So we're not just about beaches. We have brains too. And there's a lot of inventions. And even if you look up, you know, inventions, Australian is really top there with some online stuff, but also the our physical being and the things that, you know, we have come up, invented, created. There's so much there. So kangaroos, you know them all. Everybody knows a kangaroo, right? And you may have seen them, or you may have been told that, you know, the children ride them to school. That's just a load of crap. But anyway, you keep thinking what you want. But kangaroos outnumber humans 2 to 1. So there are more kangaroos in Australia than there are humans. And we're at about 27 million here, I think, in Australia. We're a very big country island. So we're a little bit of both over here. So we've got all water all the way around. That's why we have so many beautiful beaches. Now, I didn't see Glenda here, but if she's here, hello, Glenda. Glenda comes from South Australia, which is down the bottom end of Australia. Then there's Western Australia and, you know, all the other states. So, but in Coober Pedy in South Australia, it gets so hot, people literally live underground, and that's a true story. So it's so hot over here. You know, we've got so much outback where it's not livable per se, and a lot of the percentage of Australians live on the coastal side because that's where you've got your water, that's where you've got your beaches. There's inland, and you have like cattle properties and things like that, which is very dry, and it can get up to 45 degrees Celsius. during the summer months. And it's a very dry heat, like in Western Australia, where I live, it's a very tropical humidity heat. And boy, do you sweat. And we've just had, I've actually got the aircon on tonight. It was 24 degrees. I think that was about 75 degrees Fahrenheit today, and we're in the middle of winter. So we're hoping and praying we still get some cool weather. But I just wanted to share a couple of those fun facts with you. So Australia, where nature is dramatic, okay, the slang is confusing because everybody reckons we do have our own lingo here, so I'm not going to say otherwise. And the coffee is non-negotiable. So the Aussies love they also have underground hotels. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. And there's probably different places in the world that do have underground living and things like that, where it gets that hot that you've got to live underground. You couldn't survive in these places. And remembering that we have air conditioners here, and that's fine. Out in the bush where it gets that really big dry heat, they use a different type of it's like a humidifier, which doesn't, anyway, it works differently. It works on a water basis, cooling, and it works better in the drier weather. So just a few fun facts for you. So I'll just pop over here and see if there's any, if there are no scary critters on those 10,000 feet. Hey, we can't make any promises, Jean. The sharks, the crocodiles, well, the crocodiles don't necessarily live at the beach, even though we do have one down the road here that's supposed to be a local. It's amazing how we call out. Yeah, koalas are beautiful, Ava. And you can go to like koala sanctuaries. I think the Australian Zoo, which Steve Irwin, when he was alive, created, his wife and the two children. I think his daughter's now had a baby girl as well. She's a couple of years old, maybe 2 or 3 years old now. But you can go to these zoos over here and see these animals without having to be too worried that they're going to bite your leg off or, fight you for it. 50 million kangaroos, woohoo, yeah. And there are a lot. And when you go out bush, what you'll find is if you're traveling on the highways, you'll see dead kangaroos on the side of the road, because what happens is the big trucks that come through at night time, they don't have time to brake and stop. So they hit these kangaroos, they flick off the side. You'll find wild pigs, you'll find wild emus, and there's probably a few other bits and pieces out there in the wild. Occasionally a porcupine, a echidna. You might find crossing the road very slowly. But look, this is how we grew up. You have certain things from your country, your area. Yes, we have spiders, and sometimes they are as big as plates, but they're harmless. The huntsman is just a big spider. But we have deadly ones as well. And most of the time, you just got to be careful. If you're out in the garden, you got to wear gloves, to make sure nothing's going to bite you and kill you. And particularly snakes. Only last evening I was watching. Oh, okay, that's fantastic, Ava. It is nice to watch documentaries on different countries, and I find it quite amazing. Even for my own country, there's so much that I don't know. Have you really researched about your country? Perhaps, whether you're, sometimes we live in a world where, excuse me just a minute, we live in a world where we don't actually step outside our, not only the comfort zone, but our own town, or where were you born, or have you got, desires to go and travel and see other countries or see more of your country. There's so much of Australia, and I've lived in a lot of it in Western Australia, travelled across the Nullarbor twice by car, and, been up the inside roads where there are a lot of kangaroos. And there's pubs out in the middle of nowhere, with no towns around them, just pubs, because, hey, everybody gets thirsty. Anyway, I'm going to leave that now and leave you with a few of those thoughts. I would like you to Google, look it up maybe, and just think about, what it is that's special about your country. Because, like I said, you're all special, and you all have something that you may have done in your life, or you may want to share in future, about something that happens in your life or your country. Now, last week we had the beautiful Willow on, but before we go to her, I spoke about memberships. Now, memberships are something that I've put together just as Red has his tea clubbers. I have put together a little smaller levels of memberships for those who want to get, updates earlier. Those who want to have their comments put up before. Now, this isn't just about making, people pay for something. It really is something that I just want to put in place so that we can bring change together. Okay. It really is up to you what you want to do. But please, if you go and have a look at that, you can go to Narelle Warcon/YouTube join. If you go to your channel, just click on your subscribe button. I think it may be under there. You may even see a join button. But please go and have a look. Like I said, we don't force you to do anything. It's just something that we put together so that we can help others, and we can also bring more value to those as well that may want to have, exclusives. I'm going to be doing some lives which will be exclusive to our memberships as well. So please have a look at that. Now, I'm going to move forward because we've been through the nitty gritty and the heart surgery. Yeah, I think you should all come to Australia at least once. Okay. I'll help you. I'll fight off those big nasty animals. Well, not the crocodiles. You can have them to yourself. Okay, so I want to say a big thank you to Willow Griffith. So Willow was on last week and we discussed self-talk, and it was a really lovely conversation because Willow was unable to make it the week before because of that big blowout with her internet and the floods that were sort of happening. We were just absolutely honoured to have Willow on last week. So she helped us unpack the power of self-talk, and I hope you got a lot from that. And if you haven't seen that, please go back to last week's Who, What, Where Wednesday, and you'll see Willow's picture on there. And it's, I think it's just our self-talk with our guest speaker, Willow Griffiths. So have a look at that. Have a look at some of the others. Please leave comments, likes. Anything that you do on my channel is all run by algorithms. So it does count towards me being able to bring you more value, but more information, but just helping me also keep that YouTube going so that, I can do this from week to week. So, so last week we had Willow, and Wow did that hit home. So I, had spoken the week before about naming your inner voice. Have you done any work on that? Go and have a listen to what Willow was sharing, her experience, her life. She's 83 years old and has worked a lot with many people over the years, both from a like a social worker type, spiritual being. Anyway, go and have a look at that. Because when I was healing, the voice I listened to most wasn't my doctor. It was that quiet inner voice that said, "You've got more in you, keep walking." So remember that voice that keeps coming up, that you can't do this, or I'm not able to do that, I'm not like that person, I don't talk well enough, I don't sing, I don't, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm too old, I'm too young. There's so much about that self-talk. So definitely go back and have a look at that. Leave a message for myself or Willow, or us both, because I know that Willow would appreciate that as well. So the voice, it shapes our future, and we get to choose whether it's a critic or a coach. So what are you doing? Hi, Mama Do. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us. And anybody else that's popping on that I may have missed. Okay, so rise again. Okay. What are we doing? So, here I am. I'm 10 years on with a stronger heart. Yes, I've had 2 heart attacks. And yes, I believe that they were stress related, because my first one, I didn't need any stents. And thanks to prayer, my heart had done its own bypass, believe it or not. And the last one, just on the 1st of April, which I said to the Lord, that wasn't really funny, being on the 1st of April. They found a small blockage in one of my arteries, but it was too close to the main artery to stent. But what they said was that my main artery was pumping like a 16-year-old girl. So, like like I said, for me, I know my body. I know my body very well. I've tried different things. Yes, I've been carnivore for over 12 months now. People believe it, people don't. Whatever works for you, you do you, okay? Because I struggle enough trying to do me and finding out what works for me. Have I added in a couple more things? Yes, I have, but I was very strict, and I lost something like 27 pounds in that time. I no longer have insulin. I'm no longer insulin dependent and haven't been for at least 5-6 months. So it did what it did for me. So, will I continue? How I continue? I just take it day by day, just as we can with most things in life. Okay, so if I could leave you with one truth, I'm going to give you three, but if I could leave you with one, it's you don't have to be fearless to be powerful. You don't need perfect circumstances to create change, and you just need the willingness to rise one more time. I think Jean spoke about this the other day and said, you fall down 7, get up 8. That's what you have to keep doing in life, because life is worth living. Okay, life has a purpose. You just got to keep rising every day, keep getting up. And as our CEO has said, hashtag, if you want to put the hashtags in here, let love in. Jean, share that with me. Just let love in. No, I can't even remember it. How terrible is that? I must be losing my mind. I just have had a busy few days. So let love in, and we really will see the world change. The thing is, if you're blocking yourself, you've got your walls up, you can't do this, you don't want to do this, you don't think you're able to. There's so many changes that you can make within yourself by going back over the few weeks where we have been preparing you for different things. And most of the time I will come to you and say to you, you are enough. Let the love in. Thank you so much, Jean. Gosh, honestly, duh. Let the love in. So hashtag let the love in, because I truly believe that that's what's going to change the world. Going back to what I was speaking about before about our company, about our business, there are lots of changes, and sometimes change is a little bit scary. Sometimes we get a bit fearful about what's changing and what's coming. But please know that, if you trust not only the dear Lord above, but if you trust our CEO and know that he has your interests at heart, he's doing this for not only himself and not himself, but for each and every one of you, you will feel that, okay? And you will trust that. So I ask that you have faith and trust what is happening right now needs to happen, okay? So just remember that. Let the love in. Life has a purpose. Absolutely it does. And sometimes it just takes us a little bit more digging to find those things. Finding Nemo, the great phrase, is just keep swimming. Absolutely. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And sometimes you feel like you're doing backstroke, or you just what we call doggy paddle. I don't know if you call that over there. But you just feel like you're sticking in one place. It does get better. And look, I see this a lot in different things that come out there on social media, where it says, the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, I truly believe that you are the light. You are the light moving forward. You're going to shine that light out into that tunnel to the world and make a difference in life. So thank you for celebrating with me. This isn't just a me milestone. It's a celebration of what's possible for anyone who chooses courage. Now, hasn't our CEO stepped up to that with courage? Okay. Drop a comment or tag someone you think might need this reminder of how they can change things, or that how they can keep stepping up as I've had to do in my life, through everything that I've been through. God has a purpose for me to be here, to share my journey so that it might touch one person out there, one child, that they don't have to live through something or have to go through what I did in life. So that's my reason for being here. That's my reason for writing my story so raw and real, about being able to touch somebody's heart and know that they're not alone, and to bring hope to those people. There's a lot of domestic violence. Hi, John Barella. Lovely to see you. No spanner in here, John. Sorry. But it's about bringing hope to others, so that they're not alone. So reach out to that person, because we never know what our neighbours are going through, what our friends are going through. Don't judge them from an outward appearance, or think they should know what they're doing, or they should change things around. We're only going on a perception of what we see. Remember that each and every one of us has a heart, okay? And that heart can be broken in many places, in many pieces over our lives. And what we need and what will change our world is love, okay? We need to bring love back into our lives. We are the light. We absolutely are, John, and you shine yours bright, as along with many in here. What do we have here? Okay. So because if you've got a heartbeat, you've got a mission. So if you're still kicking and you still got that heartbeat thumping, then you've got something to be here for, okay? And that's truly, when you think about that, each day is a new blessing, right? And John, you would know, as we get older, we start to prioritize or appreciate things differently. There's things in our lives that we change because we're no longer going to put up with that. We start to set more boundaries because we know what they're about. And I learned late in life about setting boundaries. It's not just about people pleasing. If you're out there people pleasing, step back for a minute, take some time, go inward. Your heart is what truly matters. Thank you, Deborah. Love you heaps. So here's to rising, here's to healing, here's to becoming unshakable you. I love you all with every piece of my heart. So as I said, thank you so much for being here. I will go over to the chat because I know it's been busy. If you have any questions for me, or if you know of somebody that is going through a hard time, maybe it's time to reach out to them. Maybe it's time to say, hey, can I help you? Simple words. It doesn't have to be all about money, right? Money is money is going to be able help us to be able to do things, but kindness doesn't take money. Love doesn't take money. It's not going to make you multiply in love, because the love is already in here. The kindness is already in here. So let me go over to the chat quickly, because I know there's someone. Like I said, I was a little bit emotional today. I think it's just all been a very big few days for me. And sometimes the emotion just needs to come out sometimes. So hello, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining us. Deborah, Mackay, thank you so much for joining in, and thank you for putting in comments, because I know sometimes that doesn't always work. For those joining in on LinkedIn, and Narelle Warcon author, thank you. If you leave a message over there, I will get back to you. Sometimes it takes me 24 to 48 hours to reply, because after this I'm usually a little bit kerfuffled, and you may not know what that means. So John, thank you so much, and everything that you do. The other thing I wanted to say, I do have a couple of things. Please go over and listen to Redfern. Red had a live, and he does a lot of lives. I mean, I love the Monday Fun Days with Jane. I think they're a remarkable couple, and they're very real and very raw, as in, their feelings and what they're doing and what they're sharing. Red shared last night about being aligned. It was absolutely amazing, and you need to go and have a look at Redfern, and have a look at his last night's or yesterday's, whatever it was for you, and what he shared there. So I wanted to share that. I'm just having a look here. Oh, and thank you to all those who have become members, because it really is important to have a look at that. You know, it's moving forward, it's being together, it's being united, and being able to bring a little bit more value to some that want to be able to uplift that and help others as well. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. Bergith, thank you. John, congratulations on being an admin for Red. I hope he never asks me, because at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm not going to be a very good admin. But you do a fantastic job. Thank you, Kenton, for all your kind words, for always being there and being uplifting and supporting for us over here in Australia as well. Jean's always here, and thank you, Jean. Irfan Ahmed, thank you so much for joining in. I'm a madam or a ma'am or a Mrs. or a Ms. Definitely not a sir. Not the last time I looked anyway. Yes, Jean, thank you. I do love quotes, and I do love thinking about, you know, open-ended type ones as well, where it takes on what your thoughts are around it, rather than just specifically to what it was intended to do. But that's just me. Hey, I'm a bit weird like that. Now, who is this? Tika Ram, Mina, thank you so much for joining us today. Like I said, share it out if you think that this has been of value today. I know it's about me celebrating my 10 years heartversary, my open heart surgery. As you can see, I do have a scar there. I'm not going to show you everything, but and the scars on my legs. Like I said, if you're on my Facebook, go over to my little video I shared today. You will be able to see the scars on my legs, what they look like in the beginning and what they look like today, or at least a month ago. Willow is definitely knowledgeable, and we will have Willow back on. I pray, honestly, I just want to bring this up too, because, and I don't know how to put this into words, except all I can say is pray for those in Texas where a lot of people have lost loved ones, young girls. You can't even to begin to imagine what they're going through. So pray for their strength, and pray for anyone who may still be out there, you know, that survivors and things like that. But definitely keep them in your thoughts and prayers every minute of every day. So, Jean, stuffed koalas. Yeah, I'd send you one, but it's just not the same. You can come over, like I said, and you can actually hold them, have your photo taken with them. They are very beautiful and very cuddly, but you don't want to do that with a crocodile, all right? If you go over to, also, if you are on my YouTube channel, please subscribe. It is free. And please have a look at some of my little videos and shorts. I have put that Australia one up there on my videos, and I do. Oh, hey, Vivine, lovely to see you jump on there. Lovely. It's nice to see, you know, that you're watching these. They're only 25-second long. Some of them are a little bit longer in the video section, but it all helps with the algorithms. And I just love the fact of doing them. So I love the fact of hearing if you like them. You know, if you'd like me to do something different, then reach out and tell me, you know. I'm open. I'm very creative. So I like to take a challenge on. Thanks again, Dan and Patricia Parent, for popping on. I'll just scroll down to the bottom now, because I saw Vivine popping on in there. Yeah, you'd love them, Jean. Prayers for Texas. Absolutely, John. Thank you so much. So if there is nothing else, like I said, I've shared a few things today. I do have, the new website. I've got a new website coming. I told you about that. And maybe, just maybe, we have a little bit of a glimpse, and I'd love to get your feedback, because it is completely different. And I'm just loving it so much. So if we do have it ready, like I said, it'll just be a little glimpse. I'm absolutely ecstatic about it, because I've had my old one for a long time, and it works well. A website is a website. However, you know, as we move forward, it's nice to update. You know, like excuse me, we don't just take on say online tools and things like that. There's so many different ones out there. We don't just stay and stagnate on a certain platform. You know, you see Facebook will make some changes. You'll see some of the social medias make changes. You'll see if you are an online business, or if you have an online business, you'll see that there is improvements all the time. And particularly now with AI, I believe in ethical AI. I believe that our company will be bringing ethical AI. And yes, I do believe there is a difference. Okay. And I think good and bad in everything, as there is good and bad in every country, as there is good and bad in people. Okay. But it looks like my website might be ready. So are you ready? Tell me what you think. Here it comes. What do you reckon? So it's completely different. And I know Jean will be going, but I liked your old one. So we've got some information there. You know, there's some movement in there. The colors, I just absolutely love. It hasn't got the red border as you're seeing here, because that's just part of our eCam that we use here. And just one more down, because yeah, I just love it. And you know what? I'm not even a purple girl, but I just love these colors. It's just really striking. And it probably looks better in the flesh. And what you're seeing here is just a little bit of our preparation in what I've been putting together, and the wordings and the photos and just everything as it comes together. It really is becoming quite creative, and I'm hoping that you will all go over and have a look at it when I say go and it's ready, which it isn't yet. So we're still working on that. It does take time. You know, I can spend hours and hours and hours just finding the right picture. You think that you see the finished product. It's like writing a book. People think, oh yeah, she just wrote a book. But no, it's not that. You know, it's about your whole, when you're writing an autobiography, you're actually reliving parts of your life. I'll come back to that, Vivine. You're actually writing parts of your life. You know, if you're writing a story about fiction, non-fiction, you know, they're all completely different, but they take a lot of research. You've got to get everything right. You know, authors just don't go, I'm going to write a book and that's it. You know, for me, I had to go back and relive a lot of my life, which was very cathartic in the sense of releasing, not in the sense of having to remember and live through it all again, but it's very cathartic, because in the letting go is where I started to grow, and where I started to, you know, believe in myself and start loving myself again. So yeah, royalty. I love that, Vivine. She always comes in with something so beautiful. I want to thank you for all of that. Vivine is a very good also support here in Australia, even though across the other side of Australia, I think if Vivine and I live closer, we wouldn't get much work done. Now, I'm just going to read this. You are strong-willed, Narelle, always determined, persistent and not easily discouraged. You have a powerful drive and a tendency to pursue your goals with conviction, and that helps all of us here. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. And like I said, if you don't think you can do this, you can. And I'm going to keep telling you every week, you're worthy, you're kind, you're enough, you're caring, you are loved. Okay? Find your tribe, find those people around you that uplift you. Let go, if you can, of the ones that keep bringing you down, or the negativity. Keep an eye out in your back office for any of the O news that's coming forward. Jean, stop that right now. Keep going into your OES. Have a look at your O news. If there's anything new coming up there, it will be there. Do not listen to anything outside of that, because we know that is where the truth is going to be coming from. Things are changing, and as we saw in our last O news, you know, there's some cleaning up, some branches that need to be cut away, things so that transparency is sort of showing forward, so that we've got those deeper rooted and the people that are here, that have been here for so long, that, you know, want to see Ash's vision, Ash's mission become real. Okay, just keep hanging in there. This is going to change our lives. And I know that today I have shared a little bit more about my life, about my heartversary, and happy 10-year anniversary, heartversary to me, because it is a big achievement to be able to celebrate that. And I thank you all for being here. Now, one thing before we finish off, don't just leave. Last week we put up, and I have put together the song that we introduced, which is called Shine, right? If you have a look, last week there was a little bit of a glitch in the system, but I have the wordings and the photos and everything to go together. So please continue on after I finish here and listen to the words of that song. You are able to shine. You have a light in you. So thank you once again. We will be coming back to you next Wednesday on Who, What, Where Wednesday. I really appreciate if there's anybody that I've missed in calling your name, please forgive me. I know that you're there, and I do keep a copy of the chat, so I will go back over that. For any of you leaving a comment on any of my social medias, LinkedIn or Narelle Warcon author, thank you so much. And for those who are new subscribers to my YouTube channel, I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. And to my members, I love you dearly. Thank you so much, and God's blessings to you all. Remember to pray and keep uplifting others. I love you heaps, and I shall see you again next week. Bye for now.
Woke up with a dream in my pocket. Took a step and I couldn't stop it. Every stumble lit a fire inside. Now I walk with my head held high. Lessons learned and bridges burned. Still I rise with every turn. This is more than just a climb. It's my moment, it's my time. No more hiding in the crowd. Gonna wear my soul out loud. The world is waiting just to see all the magic inside of me. Shine, shine like a diamond bright. Shine your light, you've got every right. You are special, let it show. Be yourself and let it flow. Stand out, don't dim your glow. You were born to steal the show. Shine, shine like you mean it. Shine so bright they can't believe it. Pages turn, but the heart stayed true. Every scar's got a golden hue. Telling my story in my own style. With every post, every smile. From the hustle to the heart. Every ending's a brand new start. Turning passion into plans. Now I'm dancing where I stand. I don't chase, I'm magnetized. My journey's written in the skies. If you're watching, hear me say, you're a light to find your way. Shine, shine like a diamond bright. Shine your light, you've got every right. You are special, let it show. Be yourself and let it flow. Stand out, don't dim your glow. You were born to steal the show. Shine, shine like you mean it. Shine so bright they can't believe it. If they doubt you, let them talk. You're the thunder when you walk. Turn your truth up past the 10. You're the spark, ignite again. Shine, shine like a diamond bright. Shine your light, set the world alight. You're special, let it show.